Installing the drive unit. Be sure to remove the power pack before starting work to prevent the accidental activation or short-circuiting of the Bosch e-bike system. These spare parts and special tools will be required. First, make sure that all cables have been inserted in the frame interface. Carefully bring the drive unit to the frame interface and place the 3 hexagonal bolts into the relevant holes. Make sure not to catch any cables. Now insert the mounting plate. There are 2 different mounting plates. The newer short mounting plate is compatible with the current models and is the preferred choice. A spacer sleeve is required in order to install the design cover. This is supplied pre-assembled and is also available as a spare part. Loosely fit the 3 nuts with the washers and secure the mounting plate using the 2 screws and the Torx T30 wrench. New drive units are delivered ex-works without threads in the receivers for the mounting plate screws. The threads are only formed while the self-tapping screws are screwed in. A lower torque is required for drive units that already have threads. The guide values are 13 to 15 Newton meters for the initial installation and 9 to 11 Newton meters for subsequent installations. In the case of drive units up to and including model year 2014, the value is 6 Newton meters. Tighten the 2 screws with a tightening torque of 25 to 30 Newton meters. Use a 13 mm socket wrench for the 3 nuts. Now attach the cable connectors, always with the tab facing downwards. The plugs cannot get mixed up. Each plug only fits in 1 socket. Never apply force when inserting a plug. Finally, stow away the cables safely. Use cable ties to fasten the cables that will not fit inside the frame tubes to the appropriate spaces. In the case of Active Line and Performance Line drive units, place the 2 halves of the design cover around the drive unit so that they can fit together. Use a Torx T20 wrench to screw the 2 screws on either side back into the relevant halves of the cover. Tighten the screws with a tightening torque of 1 Newton meter. If there is no bearing protection ring fitted, clean the bearing area and the linkage. Then fit the chain guard mount, if any. Apply plenty of grease. Now, fit the bearing protection ring and remove the excess grease. Then check the chain ring for wear. If everything is in order, place it on the tooth profile of the motor shaft. Slide the O-ring into place. Now tighten the lock ring using the lock ring tool. The lock ring has a left-handed thread. The tightening torque is 20 to 25 Newton meters. For resistance, fasten the left crank to the bottom bracket shaft or use a chain whip. Then pull the chain up. Refit the chain guard. Fit the crank by screwing it down tightly using the relevant screws and a size 8 hexagon socket Allen key. Tighten the screw with the tightening torque specified by the crank manufacturer. This is generally greater than 40 Newton meters. Now fit the crank on the other side as described. The cranks are marked left and right. Make sure not to mix them up. The functional check should now be performed. Now also check the functions such as the light and walk assistance functions and take a test ride.